Welcome to Skills to Serve, a four-part development series based in asset-based community development, a justice orientation, and the foundations of diversity, equity, and inclusiveness that prepares service leaders to meet and get to know the community they seek to serve, build relationships and trust, and serve through solidarity, humility, and mutual exchange. Participants will build the 7 service leadership skills that are needed to truly serve communities in ways that are helpful, collaborative, and liberating or freeing. The first one, believing in the greatness of people. Believing communities know what is best for themselves, knowing that communities have the assets they need to meet their greatest challenges. Expecting the best solutions will be ones the community designs, controls, and sustains, and seeing communities as whole, healthy, productive, powerful, able, and deserving. The second one, questioning any single story. Believing that everyone deserves the right to define themselves and to tell their own stories. Noticing when power in society is imbalanced, that those in power write the stories that define people on the margins. Expecting the community to be full of multiple converging and diverging backgrounds, experiences, and truths, not just one. And believing that the work of witnessing, believing, and lifting up multiple concealed truths is healing and freeing for the community. Expecting multiple right answers, knowing that there are many successful ways of doing and being, but when power in society is imbalanced, some ways of doing and being are valued and other ways are not. Believing that people's actions are adaptive responses to life and life's challenges, knowing that people's habits serve them in some way, and knowing that people are doing their best. Finally, admitting that the way I do things is only one way of doing. It's a way that works for me, but it's not necessarily a reliable measuring stick of other people and how well they're doing. Seeing people the way they see themselves. Believing that everyone deserves the right to be seen by others the way they see themselves. Noticing that when power in society is imbalanced, those in power decide the language used to describe people on the margins. And finally, admitting that seeing people fully may require new glasses. I may have to adjust or grow my lenses and language to be of service to people who are different than me. Doing no harm. Knowing that everyone is vulnerable to bias. Everyone has biases and is vulnerable to social stereotypes. Believing that harm can be prevented and mitigated and even repaired. And while many of us have the muscle to see and stop explicit bias, building muscle to see and stop implicit bias is a lifelong journey. Demonstrating community accountability. That when harm happens, the community, not just the actor who committed the harm, is accountable, and that all play roles in creating conditions where the harm cannot happen again. Working to balance power. Understanding that injustice is systemic. Patterns in power, access, and control are predictable across lines of race and gender and have deep historical roots. Believing that we didn't create inequity, but it is our job to end it. And finally, practicing intervening on systems but not people. People who have experienced societal marginalization or exclusion are not to blame for society's treatment of them, and efforts to fix those people will do more harm than good. Instead, we intervene on and fix systems. The final of the 7 skills is getting behind the ask. So community self-determination, believing that communities know what's best for themselves and listening to their needs and goals. Getting behind these needs and goals, especially the needs and goals that are self-determined and stated by communities experiencing the greatest social marginalization or exclusion. Serving these goals with our heads, our hands, our hearts, and our dollars, without condition, stipulation, or expectation for a reward. And then finally, seeing that service is a mutual exchange, that by being of service, we have the opportunity to learn and grow, to build relationships, and to also heal and grow ourselves. This content is delivered over 4 sessions. Session 1, Session 2, Session 3, and Session 4. We do hope you'll join us, and we look forward to working with you soon.